think we have to start at the most logical place, which is Evan Mobley's development. And I want to frame the discussion this way. Let's say that Tim Bontemps is in charge of Mobley's development, and you have to give him one player to watch and model his game after. Who are you picking?
That's a good question. I mean, the guy that I always sort of hoped coming into the league that he would become is Chris Bosh, right? I think Chris is one of the most talented bigs that I've ever seen play. Obviously, his career got cut a little bit short because of the blood clotting stuff, but I mean, people forget because he was sort of the third banana on that Heat team, and so he didn't put up huge numbers. But if you go back to when Chris Bosh was playing for Toronto, I mean, he was putting up regularly 25 and 10 and, could stretch the floor to three, was a super athletic guy who became, an outstanding defensive player once he matured in his career and went to Miami and really dialed in on that end of the court. And obviously he was a guy who didn't shoot a ton of threes because nobody shot a ton of threes back then. But like Kevin Garnett, he was a guy that had 3-point shooting range. And as his career went on, he became more and more of a 3-point shooter. And so he was a four that could play the five in a pinch, could play next to a big, could space the floor, could handle the ball, could pass, could do anything. And that was the guy, Chris Bosh, that you heard comparisons to Mobley when he came in the league. And so that's really, to me, sort of the overall vision of if he gets to the ultimate place that I think if you're a Cavs fan, you hope that he gets to. Like if he becomes that version of a player across the board, sort of a 5-2-0-4, he's a guy who could be the best player on this team. And I think the Cavs become a team that has a championship level ceiling. If he's something short of that, and Donovan Mitchell remains the best player on the Cavs, which obviously he is right now, I just think it's going to be hard, even in a flattened talent environment that we're in now, to look at this Cavs team and see a real path to them being a regular conference finals team, a true championship caliber team. And that's the whole real discussion, right? It's like, can Evan Mobley become Cleveland's best player? Because typically, if you look at the history of the NBA, the teams that win titles when they have one of the best players in the league, the only guy, Donovan Mitchell's size, that's been that good in the past 35 years is Steph Curry. So it's hard to see that being the path, whereas there's a lot more guys who are Evan Mobley's size who've been that kind of player. So, if I had to pick one guy off the top of my head, it's a very good question. I would say Chris, for a variety of reasons. And I think if he becomes Chris Bosh in time, I think everybody in Cleveland will be very happy.